Before we get started, I think it's important to cover the print preview modes. Fast mode generates one section at a time. This makes it faster because you're not waiting for the entire book to render. There are a few things to keep in mind. Page numbers always start at 1. Since you're only looking at one section, there's no way to calculate where the section falls in the rest of the book. Recto and verso behavior may look off. Features like start on recto depend on knowing what comes before the section, so it won't work in fast mode. And the table of contents won't show page numbers. When you're only generating the table of contents, the other sections literally don't exist, so it can't render the actual numbers. The slower mode renders your entire book. This is the final product. This is what you'll actually send to the distributor. So use this when you want to see exactly how everything fits together as a whole. And then you have the ebook PDF preview. The print preview settings have nothing to do with the ebook PDF preview. They're completely separate. So if you're looking at the ebook PDF and wondering why certain things are not transferring over, that's why. Now let's look at the trim and margins tab. We've given you 8 popular trim sizes to choose from. If you need something different, you can expand the list to see all 16 sizes we offer. Page margins let you control the white space around your text. The inner margin is the space near the binding where the pages meet the spine. This margin is typically a bit bigger than the outer margin because the crease of the book eats up some of that space. The outer margin is the space on the left and right edges of your pages away from the binding. We highly suggest using the visual guide button to build intuition for how these work. The footer and header spacing control the space at the top and bottom of your pages. Header and footer safe zones are mandatory buffer zones that print-on-demand services need. Without enough space here, your text might get chopped off during printing. We found that 0.3 inches tends to work well for most fonts, but you can adjust if needed. The header and footer total space is the distance from the very top of the page down to where the first line of text begins. We've added a visual guide for you here as well. Next is the font and layout tab. The body text typography section is where you control the font for all of the body text across your entire book. You'll see all the fonts that you can use in the font family dropdown. If you click the add button, you can download Google Fonts directly into your app and use them right away. When choosing fonts, you'll notice a green check mark or an orange warning symbol show up. A green check mark means that style is ready to use in all circumstances. If a style is missing something like bold or italic, you'll see it as flagged. The reason this matters is because if you're using a font that doesn't have italics, no italics will render. For body text font, we highly suggest looking for a font that has a green check mark. The chapter type layout rules section controls some important rules about how your book is structured. If you're seeing Roman numerals in your book and you don't want them, then you want to turn off this first option, Roman numerals before chapter 1. Behind the scenes, this option ensures your first chapter type always starts at page 1. All front matter sections before it automatically will use Roman numerals. The next 2 options allow you to control whether or not your chapter types start on the right-hand page. The chapter first page styles allows you to control what happens on your first page of each chapter. By default, we hide running headers and footers on all sections. This option lets you toggle that on or off. And then you have the option to show page numbers only, which will still allow you to hide the headers, but it will show the page number. Some books don't need a table of contents. If you don't want one, you can turn this option off here and one won't be generated. The pagination controls allow you to configure how many orphans or widows you want. The text formatting section lets you turn off justification on your whole book. You can disable hyphenations across the entire book. You can even adjust your hyphen limit, which controls how many consecutive lines can have hyphenations in a row. The headers and footers tab lets you control the font and the arrangements of running headers and footers. Presets let you create multiple variations of your headers and footers within the same book. This is useful when different parts of your books need different layouts. For example, you might want your chapters to have full headers with the book title and author name, but your back matter to only show page numbers. You can create a preset that only has page numbers and apply that to your back matter. When you're setting up header and footer layouts, you need to set up both the left and right pages. The page elements can be dragged into whatever slot you want, and you can also drag them between positions to rearrange things. The custom text element lets you create very specific layouts. For example, if you want your page number to be very close to your author name, you can set that up with custom text. Pay attention for the little disk icon next to the preset name. Anytime that's showing up, it means that you have unsaved changes and you have to hit save to lock it in. The header and footer typography at the bottom apply to the entire book. The page element arrangements are the only things that'll be applied when using presets. The header and footer typography allow you to control the font size, and the weight. We also give you 3 options of transforming the text automatically. The Footnotes tab has their own presets as well. There's a visual guide that helps you see how all of the spacing works. The note styling are the actual footnote text that appear at the bottom of the page. The reference style controls the little marker in front of the footnote on the bottom of the page, and the footnote area controls the overall footnote region, including spacing and text indentation. Every section in Lacuna allows you to override the print settings for that particular section. To access these settings, go to any section and open the Options menu. In that menu, you will find the Customize Print settings. This lets you override everything from the main settings for just this one section, plus some extra options. First page positioning lets you choose whether you want the section to start on recto, the right side, or verso, the left side. You can also invert the colors of the first page. Everything will automatically have a black background with white text. Under the headers and footers section is where you would apply a preset to individual sections like we showed earlier. We also give you 2 options to change the first page specifically. These are the same configuration as the chapter settings in the print settings. The heading element suppression allows you to disable the title, subtitle, and heading image, and you can also adjust the widows and orphans configuration per section. The split page background images is a feature that allows you to take one wide image and automatically split it into 2. We'll cover this more in depth in another video, but here's the basics. When you upload a split image, Lacuna automatically injects a page on the left and forces the section to start on the right. When the reader opens their book, they'll see one big background image spanning both pages. You can get the same effect by creating a full page image section and forcing it verso and placing that before your section. Then your section would use a single page background on page 1. For split page background images, we've given you a PPI calculator that gives you a recommended pixel size for your image. Single page background images let you add a background image to individual pages within a section. You can add a background image to the first page, second page, third, whatever you want. You can add as many different single page backgrounds as you need. Once you're happy with a configuration of a certain section, if you want to use it on another section, you can use the Apply to Others button. If you see a star next to a setting, it means you've changed it from the default. You can also click Hide Unchanged to see only the settings you've customized. Select the settings you want and apply them to any other section in your book. They'll all get the exact same settings.